everybody, thank you for joining me. So today my video is a part of the YouTube layout hop, and I'm so excited because the theme is summer for the month of July. And I wanted to share because I did this sketch that should be popping up here, and I got it from Hip Kit Club, and as soon as I saw it, I knew the paper and I knew everything that I wanted to do. So I'm going to bring you guys along with my process of creating my layout. So I decided to use some marshmallow, the basil paper, and I'm just putting down some gesso. I had my white gesso that was on my desktop, so I only did the 1/2 of the paper. And sorry, my camera is going a little wonky. It tends to do that with the white paper, but I'm going to be adding color here in a little bit. I'm just trying to get gesso down on the section of paper that's going to have the mixed media, because there's a large section on the right hand side that's going to be covered up with pattern paper. So once this dries, I'm going to clean up my little palette knife, and just go ahead and wait for this to dry a little bit, and grab a couple of my sprays and different inks. I knew I wanted to use the clouds and the different colors, so I decided to go with the Pink Fresh. I think it's Pink Fresh. Hold on. Right here. Yep, Pink Fresh Studios. It's the watercolor in the sky blue, which is perfect. It has a little eyedropper, and I'm just putting it on some clear plastic, and I'm adding a little bit of water to get it moving, and then I'm going to kind of smush it around all over where the gesso was applied. And then you just keep adding the watercolor and then doing another splash, and it kept growing. It was big, but remember, a good portion of this is going to wind up being covered, and you can see the camera kind of calms down once I start adding some of that color where you can see it, and it's just enough. It's not, I didn't need it to be a huge contrast, but I just wanted something on the other side of that pattern paper, so that the white wasn't so stark. And then I'm just doing some splatters on top of what I just dried as far as the smushing, and we're going to take one of the paper towel rolls and just kind of roll along there to kind of dry it up, and then do another level of splatters. And I normally don't do splattering at this stage. I tend to do a lot of it at the very end, which I wind up doing again with like my black, and sometimes I use gold, but you'll see what we'll use on this one. So I generally know the section of where the pattern paper is gonna go, and I'm just cutting the little, like that little strip, that 1/4 of an inch strip that's usually on your papers. I trimmed that off, and then I turned and, you know, laid everything down, because I basically had it laid out with where I wanted to put my flowers, my leaves, and stuff like that. And I had taken a picture on my camera before I started, so I was pretty much set up and ready to go with applying this and putting it together. So I'm just laying down my ATG tape, and I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the art glitter glue. And I use the art glitter glue basically to give me a little bit of wiggle room as I'm laying it down, so that way if it's uneven, I can maybe pull it back up pretty quick and then go from there. So now that I have that down, I decided that I wanted to back my photos on just plain black cardstock. And I have my Tim Holtz ruler out only because I needed to measure, because my photos aren't your typical just like 4x6 or 3x3 or 4x4. I couldn't cut them too small because I didn't want to cut off people's heads and stuff like that. So I got it to a size that was able to work with where I wanted to put the photos. So for the sketch, you saw the big image of the sun. Well, using the paper, the black and white geometric shaped paper here, is giving that feel to me, because it's pointing, into that direction, and then I'm building my little cluster on top of it. So that's where I'm mimicking what's on the sketch itself. And then I'm putting my title. It's not going to be right underneath where the photos are. It's just going to be slightly over to the left to kind of fill in some of that open space. So now I'm just putting some fun foam behind each of the photos. Well, not each of the photos. The first photo I put flat to the paper. You can see I'm putting the ATG tape on it now with some of the art glitter glue to make sure it's got a good hold. And then I'm going to attach the one with the fun foam, just crossing over each other just a little bit. And then we can build up with the ephemera and different pieces like that, and go back to creating what essentially I already had planned out. On one side, I'm putting a little piece of the foam, and then the other side, I'm putting the art glitter glue, so that way it attaches to the photo, but it has some height on the other side. And then I'm figuring out where to put the clouds, and on that one, since it's flat, I was able to just glue it straight down. On this one, on the second photo, I'm going to put a little piece of the foam on one side and then glue down on the other, kind of, basically like what I did with the flower. And it also helps cover up a little bit of the house that was in that photo that I couldn't cut out, because if I had cut it out, I would have lost my nephew in the photo. So I wanted to use this clip, but I couldn't figure out a way to get it underneath. It was a last minute thought, so I'm just going to continue on with the items that I had already picked out, which is some of the flowers, leaves, different ephemera pieces. I even punched some butterflies and small flowers out to add a little bit of dimension and more layers to some of the sections, basically. And that butterfly, and I only, with any of the butterflies I use, most of them I just put a little bit of glue down the center and then place it down on the project, so that way some of the wings can be lifted up. On some of them I did leave flat. It just depends on where they were. If I just needed something sort of like an accent peeking out of one of the photos, then it would go flat like that. But most of them I tried to do just in the center. Like the one I was looking at putting behind the cloud, that one I just glued completely down, because there's no reason to try and lift it up because it's kind of like peeking out under the cloud. And then I just wanted to sprinkle them a little bit. And then I'm grabbing my thickers ruler, and I'm going to spell out summer, and then I'm going to grab a different thicker set and put fun. So with this one, because I'm putting my sentiment over in the section where I used the gesso, I wanted to make sure that I did put the wet glue underneath the letters themselves. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the art glitter glue and then lay down the top part of the summer and lift out my ruler. And for the most part, it's pretty even and I'm happy with where it's at. And then I'm going to use the ruler to place the word fun. And I'm going to use these, it's more like a rose colored, but it has glitter. And I'm using the fun and then the exclamation point at the end. So it's just summer fun. Same thing, art glitter glue on the back of that. And then this one, I am able to kind of move it around a little bit. And then I'll just attach the exclamation point. Okay, and then I decided that, oh, sorry about that, that's my phone, if you heard that. So with the sentiment, I decided to add just a few more elements. So I'm adding some hearts that we got in, I can't even remember what kit it was, but there are different shades, some of the same color, but just like the dark pink and a light pink, and then there's some yellow, a blue, and anything that sticker wise that I'm putting down, especially where there's been gesso, I do add a little bit of glue because I want to make sure that it sticks and stays down. And we're just spreading it around the hearts, all the love. And then there were these sort of like, I don't know what you would call them, like little fringe flowers. And I really wanted to use them, and I didn't know when I would use them again. So I decided to use 3, the orange, the blue, and I believe the green one there. And it gives it a little bit of thickness. So if you don't have enough space in any of your books, or depending on how you store your layout pages, then you might want to reconsider using them, because I'm going to tell you they are rather thick. Okay, so now I decided, okay, let's put down some splatters. So I'm trying to figure out exactly which color I wanted to use. I decided to use the Inklings, oops, sorry, and the color is Coral Reef. And I just sprayed some water in there. Once I get the photos covered, and we're gonna put some of that on top of like a clear block, and then put on some splatters. And I'm just grabbing, there's my clear block, and I'm just gonna splatter that all around the entire layout. And it's very subtle. It's not a like overpowering color at all. But if you tilt it in the light, you definitely get the different shades of that coral. It matches actually a lot of the pinks that I put down. And then I took the black soot and sprinkled it. And then I'm not sure, did I do white on this one? No, I think that's it. So it benefited on the left side because I used the splatters when I actually did my background technique, and then I added the coral and the black, and it was just perfect. It was, I always like to use 3 colors with my splatters, and it went really well. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this layout hop. I know I had a real fun creating this layout and doing something summer themed. It was definitely a hoot. So thank you guys so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I do know there is a giveaway with this hop that we're doing. Cynthia, I believe, is gonna have a drawing, but the key to the giveaway is that you have to go to each video and make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, there will be links obviously down below that will get you over to the next layout, and just enjoy the chain. And I hope you find some great designers and layout makers. This is really a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. So once again, thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day.